also known as Shrimp, and welcome to week 2 of me doing the Artist Way as a full-time med student. Week 2's theme was about recovering a sense of identity. I think in terms of developing like a schedule where I do like my morning pages and I give myself the space to think on top of doing my course content on a regular basis. This is probably like the best week that I've had since undergrad for doing all that stuff. So that's great. Throughout this week, I was watching other people's Artist Way videos just because I like feeling a little less alone while I'm doing this process. I like Apple Cheeks Artist Way videos because it is very like grounding and soothing, but watching Dochi's week 2 video for her Artist Way took the words right out of my mouth. There was a quote. She's talking about how like in like week 2 just felt very frustrating because it would be like, you know, trying to open a door and being like, okay, is this it? And then being like, okay, is this one it? Is this one it? And during her week 2 of her journey, she wrote this email to God, where she says, "The suspense is not fun. I want you to let me in on the plan." I feel like that's a lot of what's happening in my brain right now. Like I can see opportunities like aligning themselves and me thinking like, oh, like, you know, this is going to be like a perfect straight shot to get to where I feel called to be and the person that I feel like I'm supposed to be. And then it takes like one step back, and it's just kind of, it feels very overwhelming to like take a step and be like, okay, I'm so close now, and then registering the amount of steps that just got added, or at least the amount of steps that I'm more aware of now. I think that I have both become a lot more in tune with myself this week and also very confused as to what being myself means in the context of this time in my life. I think like being in undergrad and like being in high school, it was like I knew where my boundaries were and like how big I would be allowed to be, but right now, especially since like the bounds are now set by me and what I want to do with my career and what I want to do with my life, it's just kind of like I don't know what's going to happen, and like I can't tell whether or not I'm afraid of the future, or if I'm afraid of doing what I need to do to get to the future I want to be in. And both are things that I need to work through. So then I can become the person that I'm meant to be. It's only week 2. I need to breathe. The section that I did bookmark is her section about attention, where she talks about these letters that her grandmother would send her like all throughout her life, and even just like the simple pattern of living felt so poetic and like peaceful and rewarding to just be present and alive. And I know that Doechii didn't particularly like this section because all of a sudden she goes from talking about toxic people in your life to talking about her grandma. But to be honest, I only paid attention for the grandma. But that's okay. This is just the point I am in my life, and that's okay. That's okay. But it made me really like want to start paying attention to the simple things, or like being okay with just reflecting on the simple things. Because I think since starting school, I've lost a lot of trust in my intuition and a lot of my ability to listen to my body and what it wants, and like how I need to shift my focus and my energy at certain moments in time. So what I started doing is, along with doing my morning pages in my cute little journal, I got this from a thrift store, and these stickers are from one of my best friends at school. Very fun, very cute. Along with doing my morning pages in this, I've also been journaling when I'm at school in my planner, because it has a note section. This is my planner, by the way. Fun stuff. So yeah, in the note section, I have been enjoying like starting off my study sessions with being like, okay, these are the things that I know I want to do today, and then just kind of continue to let myself write down possible things that I could do to review content, or make a study guide or material that I can use for future passes, and also anything that's like making me anxious while I'm at school, whether or not it's like, oh, I have to do this when I get home, or I have to do this when I get home, or like maybe I answered a question wrong in class and I feel really like activated by it, and kind of talking myself through the motions of like, okay, like you feel embarrassed, but at least you tried. I'm becoming less and less self-conscious about just doing things, because I know that it's things that are going to be useful for me later on, and it doesn't hurt anyone. And if anyone thinks I'm weird, then that's weird. Why are you paying attention to me so much? Why aren't you paying attention to me so much? Interesting. That reminds me, another quote that I liked from Doechii's week 2 video was, I can't possibly embarrass myself in front of people who don't even know me. I think especially like starting school and being back in an environment where I felt like I constantly had to be aware of like my every move, and you know, like whether or not I was getting stuff right or wrong, or like whether or not I was getting the opportunities that I would need to kind of like be considered good. It was just a big shift from working in a hospital where it's like I'm along for the ride, I'm along for the journey. If you need anything, I will help you. We'll work together, do what we need to. That It going from that environment to a school environment again was just a really big shift for me. And I'm trying to lose the self-consciousness I feel, because at the end of the day, like, it's me trying that gets me to where I'm supposed to be. So if I cut myself off from opportunities that will help me become a better person and a better physician in the future, then what's the point? All that being said, that this week was really hard to absorb that and practice that, because again, like, as much as I would like to say, like, oh, like, I'm fine with getting stuff wrong, like, in front of an audience, and then, like, and I'm willing to, like, parse through the details and figure out, like, what the right way of doing things is, or, like, how I should answer and act next time, it's still, I feel like the self-consciousness doesn't go away overnight. And so I think I was very sensitive this week. I was very productive this week. But I do think I was compromising a lot of self-care and time to be kind to myself as a result. So next week I do really want to try to be better at that. I ended up skipping my artist date this week, and I kept, like, in my head I was like, oh, like, maybe I can just characterize, like, you know, when I went out to dinner, or when I went to go pick up dinner by myself, like, that'll count. But it doesn't, I know it doesn't count because it wasn't, like, a mindful experience where, you know, I'm letting my artist be seen. So I want to be better at that this week. I got an EKG reading done at school. I put it in my journal, but apparently I have a short PR interval. I also had sinus arrhythmia, but that is a normal rhythm. Make sure you know that. I had 2 oral presentations this week, which I was proud of the first one. The second one, I was like, you know what? I think this was good. And then I ended up getting a question wrong, which is fine. It's okay. To help me achieve better balance in the weeks to come, I did the Life Pie activity that Julia Cameron mentions in week 2 of the workbook, and it's very skewed. Again, I think the transition from being in a hospital environment to being in a school environment, like, it felt like work was everything, and now I have to get a better balance of, like, how do I take care of myself. I would like to think that my spirituality has been increasing since starting this book, but I do want to try to do more things on a regular basis to be more spiritual. There was, like, a point like a year or 2 ago that I liked meditating in the morning, and or, like, I really liked stretching in the morning and then going to the gym. Unfortunately, with the way that my schedule is right now, the morning doesn't necessarily, my mornings aren't necessarily free, but I do want to figure out a way that I can go for like more walks, more stretch breaks and stuff. Yeah, and I don't really I've been starting to let myself play more. I bought the My Sims Cozy Bundle during winter break because I really loved the original My Sims, never played any of the other ones, and I've been enjoying it. And I feel like the battery life on my Switch is an appropriate amount where it starts dying when I need to go back to doing something else. So it works out. I want to work on being adventurous by picking quicker locations for my artist dates. I think especially with school, I get overwhelmed going anywhere that's not my apartment and school, because those are really like the only two places that I go right now. So I want to work on finding places that I can slowly work up to being more comfortable being in. None of the other prompts really stood out to me, / I felt like I didn't have time this week with my course load, but I do feel like this week was a really good reflection and breakthrough for me. And so with that being said, I wrote down a list of things that are officially in the works for me. Number 1 is to pass this block. I will not be mad at myself or beat myself up if I have to retake, but I really do feel like this block is going to be the one where I figure out that routine that works for me, figure out the study habits that I can kind of switch in and out on a weekly basis to see how the content's going to stick for me that week, and then for all the weeks to come until my final. I'm being a lot more willing to reach out and ask for help, and to reach out to the people in my community and let them know when I am going through a hard time. So I feel like I'm better equipped to do this block right. Number 2 is to help plan Lebanon's first health fair. This is going to be a project I'm working on with my friends. I'm really excited. It's going to be very ambitious, but I'm excited for all the opportunities that will come with it and all the things that I'll learn. And I really want this to work out. Number 3 is being the mock practical coordinator for my school's chapter of SAAO. I hope that me and the rest of the board are able to make this chapter really shine this next year. And the last one is to run for my school's student government association. After talking with the second year vice president, it was just so cool to me how many opportunities there are to engage with the school community, with the local community who supports us, hearing all of the opportunities that there are to really be invested, represent the future of what my cohort will bring into the field, I feel a lot more inspired and a lot more, I feel like I'm back on the path of like stomping towards my destiny, as like cheesy as that sounds. But I feel like this version of me who's willing to try and put myself out there and do the thing, be part of experiences that will help me be more immersed in a community. It feels right.